Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Paul. On tonight's episode, we're going to make chicken with balsamic vinegar and garlic. It's a really simple, really quick and tasty dish. And let's get started. Here's what we need. Chicken breasts, garlic, mushrooms, butter, thyme, flour, chicken broth, balsamic vinegar, salt, pepper, pasta, and olive oil. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is take our chicken breasts and we're going to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Flip them over and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now before this next step, we're going to want to put a little bit of olive oil in our pan, get it nice and hot so we can go right into the oil. So we're going to take our pan, a little bit of olive oil, just enough really to coat the bottom of the pan. Let that heat up. Now, what we have to do next is take a little bit of all-purpose flour and put it in a little shallow dish or bowl. You're going to add some salt and pepper to this. And you're going to mix that all around to kind of incorporate your salt and pepper right on in. Now we're going to take each chicken breast and we're going to gently drudge it through the flour, coating all sides. We'll do the same for the next one. Looks like the oil is good, so let's put in our chicken breasts. And when you put chicken or anything into a hot pan with oil, you want to put them in and lay them away from you. And we're going to let these cook approximately 3 minutes per side. Now while those are cooking, we're going to make a little combination of chicken broth and balsamic vinegar mixed in with a little bit of thyme for flavoring. Okay, so we're going to take out our trusty little measuring cup and we're going to add 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and then we'll put in 3/4 cup of chicken broth. Now I like to use the unsalted chicken broth, but you can use whatever it is that you prefer. And there we have it. We'll take a little bit of thyme, sprinkle it right on in there. And I like to mix that around a little bit. You can mix it with a fork. You don't even have to mix it, but I always do anyway. Now the next thing that you will need is some garlic. You're going to need somewhere between 3 and 5 cloves, depending on your taste for garlic. I'm going to use 4 cloves. Oops. Let's get another one. I'm going to use 4 cloves of garlic. And as I taught you in other episodes, what we need to do, just give them a little crush like that. Gets them right on out of their skin. And then we can just pull the outer layer right off. Now these don't have to be minced too well. You can actually just put them in as is, but I will cut them into smaller pieces. And in the meanwhile, let's check on our chicken. That chicken looks pretty good. We'll just give that a turn, and we'll go about another 3 minutes on the other side. While that's cooking, we're going to bring our water to a boil for our pasta, and we're going to put in enough pasta for 2 small plates, so we have 1 chicken breast per plate. Now, just as the water comes to a boil, we're going to add some salt, and remember, you want this nice and salty so that the salt will transfer to your pasta. Our chicken is coming together very well. So now we could add some pasta to the water. So that's just about boiling. And we'll give that a little stir. Now with the chicken breasts, you don't have to cook them all the way through because they're going to simmer in our mixture of balsamic vinegar broth, so they'll continue to cook in the pan. Okay, it looks like our chicken's almost done, so let's take a look. Yep, the chicken's looking good. We're going to give that a little turn. And we're going to take our garlic and put it right on in there. And we're also going to take our mushrooms and put them right on in. Now you also want to take a little bit of butter, maybe a tablespoon or 2, and drop that right on in. Let's see how our pasta's doing. Pasta is almost there. Another minute or 2 on that. Okay, once the garlic starts to release its flavor and the mushrooms look like they're starting to soften up, it's going to be time to put in our balsamic vinegar and our chicken broth. Let's give our chicken breast one more turn. Mushrooms and garlic stirred around in there real nicely. And it's time for our little mixture. Just pour that right on in. And we'll cook that in the broth until the broth starts to reduce nicely. And once it's reduced, it'll make a nice thick sauce that we can pour over our chicken and our pasta. Okay, it's coming along very well, and we are going to now flip the chicken so that we can get more of that balsamic vinegar and chicken broth flavor in the chicken itself. let's test our pasta. Perfect. Let's get that all strained. Get the water out, take our pasta, put it on our plate. We'll give it a little twist. For no other reason than it actually looks kind of fun. See that? Okay. Now right on top of there, we're going to place one of our chicken breasts, and we're going to continue to reduce this until the sauce is thickened. Okay, it looks like our sauce is ready. I actually had to add a little flour to it and stir it around to thicken it, but that's kind of what you want. Now let's go back to our plates, and we're going to just add a little bit of this right across the top. Doesn't that look good? That smells real good. All right, I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes to cool down, and then I'm going to have myself some dinner. Just waiting on my guest, actually. So from all of us here at Cooking with Paul, good night. And remember, click subscribe, give us a like, share our page, or go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Paul vs. Food. Good night. Now before this next step, we want to,